Right, welcome to Start Collecting video for the Orcs. I've finished my Orc list, 2,000 points for my Orc army, the new codex, and so there'll be a complete army video. Check that video out, that will show you the complete army. I run through all of the points, the structure of the army, the tactics, battle plan and so on. That's all covered in that video. But in this one here, it's a Start Collecting video for the Orcs. It's just to give you a flavour of actually collecting this faction. So I had collected other factions before I came to Orcs, and then once the channel was up and running, I had a number of armies on the go. A couple of years ago, noticed that Orc battle reports and Orc armies were quite rare. There wasn't many around, and it was sort of the time when there was decent kits coming out for the Orcs, you know, really beautiful models and so on. As you'll see here in this video, we'll zoom in a bit later on, and you get a nice close-up view of the models that I have in my collection, both of vehicles and of infantry and bikers and so on. Some amazing models for the Orcs, and Orcs, a great fun collection. If you're looking for an army that's really good fun to build, to paint, to use in games, the fluff, the rules as well, just good fun. You can have a good laugh playing Orcs, but still, you know, especially now with the codex, a competitive army for sure. So just a good fun all-round army for the Orcs. I really have enjoyed collecting them. I've enjoyed expanding on my collection as well, and I've worked on a technique for painting them that has meant I've been able to paint a pretty big army, especially vehicles as well. You know, usually a lot of effort to paint vehicles. I've actually worked on a technique that's pretty fast, but quite effective. So it's been an enjoyable experience. And I was put off collecting Orcs for a long time because thinking I've got to paint loads and loads of Orc boys, loads of vehicles, you know, because they are like a horde army, and so that put me off from collecting them. But worked on a process and managed to get some pretty effective results quite quickly. So now's a good time to collect Orcs. Their codex is here, and they have a fantastic range of plastic models available as well, and some brand new models that have come out also with the Speed Freaks set and so on. So now is a perfect time to collect Orcs, and I think they're a faction that's on the rise because of their strong codex that they have as well. So you know, a few years ago I started collecting Orcs, wanted to try and see about making them more popular and to see them more often. And you know, the channel wouldn't be the same without them. If you took Orcs away from the channel, it would leave a big gaping hole for sure. So really glad to have the Orcs, and they're happy to fight against everybody. Ally with none, fight everyone with the Orcs, and it's enjoyable. Whoever they're up against, you know, it's always a challenge, always enjoyable. You get some great moments for sure, and an army with a lot of character to it, loads of different characters. Perhaps the most named characters I have out of all of the armies. Just so many models that are just crying out to be named and make a name for themselves. So the inspiration and theme that I took for the Orcs and for my Orc army, the different lists I've done down through the different editions and codexes and so on, has come from the artwork. Always trying to sort of replicate the sort of the vibe, the feeling of what each faction's meant to be. This artwork here, so an Orc line smashing into a Tau gun line here and just literally pouring over the top, you know, overwhelming the Tau gun line. And that Tau gun line, you can tell that they're doomed. They'll be wiped out by the Orcs. And so I want to try and reflect that in games, try and get that Orc tide to crash into the opponent. So part of my army is to do that, but you've got to be wise in 8th edition. You need to provide covering fire and manoeuvrability and so on. So that's all part of my list. But that's what I wanted to go for. Obviously green skinned, but you can change the tone of that. So you can go for different types. I'll come to the models in just a moment. You can go for different types of green skin. I've just gone for your standard as seen in the book. You can go for lighter or darker, but I really wanted the skin to be a feature, so I've gone for sort of a standard tone here, which you'll see in just a moment. I love the checkered pattern, so that helped me decide the faction. I like Goths. So yeah, there's another picture of them here smashing into alliance. That's the whole thing I was trying to go for. Yeah, that's the colour scheme I chose from this artwork here. So you've got, it's like Goths, you've got your checkered pattern, black armour plating, classic colour skin for the Orks, white as well, like with the teeth picked out on the armour plate, but red features as well. And it was that exact colour scheme I wanted to replicate, and so that's the scheme that you see here in the Ork army that I have. Just black and white just wasn't quite enough. I wanted just another colour. Red is a very aggressive kind of colour, and so I wanted to incorporate that in. Not too much red, but just sort of a spot colour in there. So you'll see that randomly in amongst this Ork army. Again, here in this artwork, red featuring, just a nice colour. And it's a contrasting colour with green, so the two colours match up nicely. Here's the Orks there, in amongst the Austrians. Yeah, there it is again, same colour scheme, checkered pattern, absolutely really like it. Red and black in there. So that's Goths, that's the colour scheme we went for in the end. Now in the Codex you can you get special rules for the cultures as well, which is really good. You can go for other colour schemes. I'm not saying that's necessarily the best one, there's plenty of others. Evil Sons, just more red. So I could pass mine, I reckon, for Evil Sons, no problem. You've got the Blood Axes available, the camo pattern. The Death Skulls with the blue, which can look great. The others that I almost went for was the Bad Moons. I almost went for Bad Moons. I think it's difficult enough to master the yellow. You want to do it right, but if you can master that, I think I didn't go for those because I had Imperial Fists. So I had enough yellow, had enough of painting yellow, so I didn't go for them. But that's another very good looking colour scheme. I wouldn't go for clean cut though. I've seen even the Games Workshop ones of these look a bit too clean. I would go for like a heavy amount of chipping and washes and sort of dry brushing on dirt and so on, to try and knock the yellow down a bit, try and make it as grubby as possible. Not too much, but just because it is Orcs, you're not going to keep themselves too clean. The Snakebite clan for more of your natural colours. The freebooters there as well, so the pirates. So there's some nice options you can go for with the Orcs. So this gives you an idea of the, there it is in full colour, that artwork there. So it gives you an idea of the type of army I wanted, and then the colour schemes and my choices and so on. So what we'll do now is we'll zoom in. I'll talk a bit more about the painting and so on as I zoom in and show you some of these models. Right, so start with the Ripper, Gut Ripper himself. Just here. Incredible Warboss model. Absolutely fantastic. So really happy with how it came out. Gets a nice attack squig here. Brilliant pose. Deadly killer claw weapon here. Bit of checkered pattern and red, like I was talking about earlier, just the colour scheme that I chose. Then for the overalls, here you see all this brown. This is the original spray here, so I've had to do no work to this. So just saving loads of areas for painting, which is good. And it means you just got a nice neutral colour, and the eye is then drawn to the skin and the checkered pattern and the face here. Stronger highlights going on with the face, just using the technique there. And then wash is used on the silver also. The colour scheme, if you want to see how I paint the Orcs, there's a full tutorial for them here on YouTube, so you can check that out, how to paint Orcs. And then on the Plus channel is an in-depth painting tutorial for Orcs, and that'll show you how to paint one of the vehicles just as a bigger challenge and how to apply that technique. But the technique is the same. You save loads of time by how you undercoat them, and the washes and so on. It means you get some great results, but pretty quick. And it means you can then spend your time on other areas like the chipping effect and the checkered pattern and the teeth and so on. But other more insignificant areas, you're saving loads of time. So really happy with that. But I mean, what an incredible model. You know, Games Workshop at their best here for sculpting. I really rate the Orc models. They're fantastic, and they've captured the whole sort of thrown together randomness of the Orcs really well in these models. But incredible, that one. Then I'll show you my Forge World model here. This is Zog, but it's Shard Snut the Ripper, I think is his name. This is a resin model available from Forge World. It comes with this base as well. One of my best Forge World purchases. The model is huge. I'll show you. Here's a tank buster. Look at the size of that bike. Yeah, it's double the size of an Ork war bike. And these tracks here at the back. This booster jet thing here as well. And then look at that weapon. So he's my own character here. I've called him Zog, a distant relation of Gut Ripper. Cousin Zog is his name. Same process again. And then the skin and so on painted exactly the same way. And a nice lot of checkered patterns here. Putting more effort in with the HQs to paint that up nice. Red's really nice as well. It's a great colour for chipping effect. Also, brilliant colour for that. And the white looks nice. You can add on some nice washes to make it look stained and old and battle hardened and so on. So, you know, great colours for doing those kind of effects. And you can see all the chipping effect on the teeth at the front here. That's Zog. Really pride and joy. He is. Really like him. Beautiful model. Then I got into customising my own. So this is one of the Ork buggy conversions that I made. You can see it's from the old Death Copter. Cut off all of the sledge things here in the top part and then used Ork spare bits and Imperial bits. Here's some Imperial tracks stuck on around some parts I cut out, some spare plates from Ork trucks, spare wheels from Ork trucks here, that part's from an Ork truck. That frame that it's sitting on top of, see that there, that's an upside down part of an Ork truck as well, part of it cut off. Ork truck, this bit here. There's a video for these on the channel already, on the YouTube channel here, where I talk about these before I even painted them. That's a couple of years ago. All these exhausts, I think that's spare exhaust from the flyers for the Orks. That's from the flyer as well, I believe. That's Space Marine, that. I think that's Space Marine, that one. Ork Boys, or Ork Knobs set this one, a grot. This custom force field is from the Morkanaut set. So that was spare because I made the Morkanaut spare, so that was spare and I stuck that on top. Like so. This bit here, this wiring and this frame, is from a looter, I think. Yep. That plate there, that red plate, is from a flyer. So it's all sorts. This big chopper, I cut the hand off and then put a spare handle on. That is from the Ork Knobs set, the plastic kit from them. So, just shows you what's available, the way you can configure these. The rider, apart from the head and the hand here, but the rider here is actually from the Death Copter kit. And the rockets are still there. They're redundant now, but it doesn't mean hardly see them. So he just carries the big chopper, just the big mech option. I just count him as a war bike now, with the custom force field. And look, "Get out of my way" is written across the front. So that's him. Check out Instagram, by the way. I do post images and updates. There's images of this one, you know, as I create new projects and so on, sneak peeks, early access to images from battle reports before they come out. It's all on Instagram, so check me out, StrikingScorpion82 on Instagram. You can follow me there and keep up to date. It's a good way of keeping up to date with what's going on. A nice visual way of being able to see images zooming in, different angles and so on. That's him. Then I'll show you another one of the buggies here. So this is a bigger version of the Ork buggy. So that's just a cut down, trimmed down version of the Ork truck. Just shortened, usually comes out the back here. And then some plates, I think that plate's from the Ork flyer, incorporated on top. Spare plates here. Some rockets added on top with a gunner at the back and the driver. Like so. I just use that as a truck now actually. So it's just a stumpy version of a truck. No problem at all. So that's that one. Just there. Then I made tank busters. My own conversions there. I didn't like the kit. It's only available in resin now. You can track it down in lead, but didn't really like the models either. And I needed more of them anyway, and I didn't want to just buy duplicate sets, so I ended up constructing my own. These are Ork Boys. That is the actual rocket that comes in the Ork Boys kit. But again, you only get one per kit and it's not enough. So I started to customise my own. Here you can see this one. That is the rocket from the flyer. That's a front part of a burner bomb, I think. This part here is from a Burner Boys set, I believe. And there's an Ork Boy body. Burner Boy arms. For that one here, that's just down. See, some of these I cut them off from, I think that end here is the end of a rocket from one of the flyers again. So it's hard to tell once they're painted. Again, there's a video of them on the channel here, around about the same time as I did the buggies. This one, that's a big shooter, I think, shooter or big shooter, and in this end here, these two little rockets that came out of the Ork Mega Knob set, I believe. So that shows you what you can do. That's the backpack on there. This one's taken from a burner or looter set, cut off the usual weapon at the end and then stuck on two rockets and a spare rocket here as well. That's again from the knobs set, so you can go for that kind of tank buster, which looks just as good, I think, and just as believable. There's the knob, customised my own knob, putting that on together like so. Wanted to make sure he was still carrying. That's a big chopper, chopped off, and again rocket stuck on the end like so. So that's the option. So that shows you how I put together the tank busters. Then another pride and joy unit here. That's my squigs. I really rate these. I tracked these down on eBay. They're lead. Old Games Workshop ones. They're the Warhammer ones, I believe. So I found a number of those and then just attached on some 40k bits. So this one's been fed a diet of stick grenades. I just use these as squigs. Tank buster squigs here. Bomb squigs is their name. So I stuck that one on, and this one here, greedy little thing that he is here, eating all those grenades. But just to add a bit of variety for my bomb squigs, my tank busters. Then you've got, you go on here. There's like so many models. There's an Ork knob there for the Ork boys with a power stabber. Then your standard Ork boy, like so. Really rate them. A lot of them I tried to up armor and put as many shoulder pads and so on as possible, just to make them as intimidating looking as I could, despite them only having a 6 up armor save. But there's those. Check out the Tactica for a lot of these units. It's already available on the channel for these units. There's another knob just there. Then I've been working on Mech Guns. So this is the artillery pieces that are available for Orks. Again, same painting process and technique used for these as for all the Ork vehicles, and that's seen in the in-depth painting tutorial for the Orks. You know, once you've got the technique, you know what to do. You just apply it every unit you come across. It's the same application. Here's a little Grot crew. Great, another brilliant kit. Then had some fun with these. Again, videos for these on the channel already, but this is looted wagons. You can have great fun doing this. And a lot of Ork players really enjoy putting things like this together. So this is a rhino with a grubby, dirtied down look here. It was Imperial Fist, as you can see, but then graffitied over Wag, Gut Ripper, and an Ork image graffitied over the top. You can see where access, the breach was made in the side, smashed open. The Orks have stuck a couple of plates over the top. Some crazy armor penetration taken here, smashing their way through here, and then around bullet holes and so on. You can imagine the Orks surrounding the vehicle, shooting it up, and they've sort of customised it a bit, made it better and faster. Stuck some spiky bits on here and here. These are all spare bits from like the Ork truck, battle wagon bit just there. Yeah, that is battle wagon. Yes, so Ork battle wagon. That's meant to go on top. I just stuck that on top there, and then look, that's the crew. Their fate, their heads spiked on top of the spikes just here, and then stuck an Ork boy in, like so. Then the turrets from the Razorbacks. It's a Razorback kit, so that's the turret for it, but then heavily customised. I think this is the Zap gun, I believe, from the Battle Wagon kit. Just whack on some extra plates. That's from a Battle Wagon. Top plate here is actually from the Razorback, I believe, like so. So you can mix and match. Then once you paint it all together, looks great. There's a tally there of casualties, and then that Razorback top fits just nicely into there. So I was using that as a battle wagon, and for the rules that was counting as like just a rocket shot. That was the rules I was using for that. Then the other one was a Lehman Russ tank. painted up in the style for Astra Militarum, the army that James has. But again, damage patched up a bit by the Orks. You can see all the loot and spare ammunition, not the tidiest of races here, but you can see all the spare ammo, like so. Another breach just here, and bullet holes all over the front, so like that. And then I widened this a bit. This fits on top. This is from the battle wagon, so I can use this on my battle wagon, no problem. It's the kill cannon, but that just goes on top like so. And the great thing is, or I can swap that around and have a strange looking caterpillar tank like that. And then this other one does fit on top here. I can have a big bulky gun on top of this one. So really happy with how these came out. They were great fun to construct. They took ages though to assemble, because you're trying to think where each piece goes and trying to make it look like it makes sense. Once it's done, you know, some great results. So really happy with that. And you'll see in games I'll swap the turrets around sometimes just to mix it up a bit. I'll show you a couple bits more. This is Mega Knobs. Fantastic unit. Highly recommend this kit. It's incredible. Loads and loads of options available from that. There's Killsaw Kyle, one of the named models. He's not a character, but I gave him a name. That's your regular Mega Knob there, the custom shooter, and then a Power Claw. But 3 wounds each, 2 up save, really good. And then I'll show you Gut Stitcher here as well. There he is. That's the Pain Boy, the personal doctor for Gut Ripper. He's able to heal wounds and so on. So a useful unit to have in plastic. Beautiful kit available from Games Workshop as well. So that gives you a flavour for the Orks, and what a flavour it is. You know, if that was that is a word to describe the army. It's an army full of flavour. You know, there's so much variety to it, so much character to the army. So I was put off, and maybe that puts you off. I was put off by the fear of having to, you know, how am I going to paint all this stuff? And so much to paint, and the skill involved, and it looks too intricate, loads of patterns and so on. But as I said, I worked on a technique that was quite quick, and would recommend that technique to you. Maybe, you know, practical. This is sort of a practical video as well as, you know, theoretical as well about the actual race. But on the practical side, maybe your painting skills aren't that amazing. Orks is a pretty good option because it's quite forgiving. If you make mistakes here and there, it doesn't show as much. This isn't a particularly clean cut race. Perhaps you're painting Tau with all of those lines and neatness, but for these you can get away with paint splatters here and there. You'd hardly notice. So that's another good option for you. But if you're into visual colours, I mean, look how many colours are in these as well, and you can drag in other colours, probably yellow being used, but you've got green, black, red, white, all going on, browns and so on. So loads and loads of colour going on with these Orks as well. But because the technique's the same throughout, the army sort of still does merge nicely together. Practically, the models are sturdy enough, but a lot of them have bits that can snap off, like banners and poles and bits. There's a syringe on here, these intricate bits. So still fragile enough with the Ork boys. You still need to be careful. I've had a few banners and things break on these, but for the most part they've been fine. Great thing is that the vast majority of the models are now in plastic, so nice and lightweight. No problem. I've had bits snap off of this tank as well, but generally, you know, from that practical side of things, they're okay. Cost wise, they may well end up costing you a bit more, because if you're going to go for hordes, I didn't go for hordes of Ork boys, but instead I had to get loads of trucks. So yes, there's that cost there. So to try and save yourself a bit of money, you can go for like the battle forces and so on. Perhaps buy the battle force, use what you need from that, sell on the spare ones to try and balance things out a little bit as well. So yeah, they're not the cheapest army to collect for sure. Orks, it's rare you're going to get an army that's quite elite. It's got to be pretty big. So there's that side of it as well. Speed for painting, not too bad. Not the fastest. I'll say Necrons, I think one of the fastest armies that I've painted, but Orks not slow. Made pretty good progress with them. So you know, don't let that put you off thinking all the time involved to paint them isn't too bad. But be prepared. If you are going to go for a 2,000 point army of 1750 or 1850, it's going to be a lot of models. So if you're going to commit to it, then you need to make sure you're going to go for it. But there's fun along the way, and you sort of paint a different type of unit each time. Then I think you'll enjoy it. If you go down the route of, oh, I need 120 orc boys, that could put you off from collecting. You could paint 10 and say, I can't paint another 110 of these, and then you give up, and it's a shame. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't go for 120 orc boys. I wanted to do a showcase army, nice variety of units, and that's kept my interest in the orcs. You know, it was tough enough painting 6 of these, and the 30 grot crew, that was tough going. So be aware of trying not to paint too much stuff. Maybe if you could do some orc boys, leave them, do something else, come back to them, but don't let that become a stumbling block for you. End up giving up because of the sheer number of them. So, and orcs have got everything, you know, not that vulnerable enough to shooting, you know, don't always boast the best of armor saves. 6 up armor save, 5 up, 4 up for vehicles, you know, not too resilient in that regard. There's certain things you can do to beef them up a bit. Their resilience can come in the sheer volume, the number of them, and the number of vehicles. So yes, the opponent's going to take out 2 vehicles, but then you've still got 8 left, then, you know, you're still in a pretty good position. Orcs are fast, so if you enjoy moving around the table and lining yourself up for the charge, orcs are great for that. Firepower is decent now for the orcs, can be blistering firepower available from the orcs, and then in close combat can be horrific and great fun as well, and you'll enjoy some of the orc characters and so on. But they're a shock army, you know, you've got to make the impact before the opponent has a chance to hit you back, is the plan. So orcs are a challenge for sure, but they can take on anyone and perform well. I think I've covered everything in this video as much as I can, but check out the comment section below, see what other orc players are saying. There'll be some experienced orc players that have big armies and so on that are out there already. See what they have to say about the faction and whether they've enjoyed them or not, and then you can make up your own mind from there. But hopefully that video, or this video here, has given you a pretty good introduction to what it's like collecting orcs. But I've very much enjoyed collecting them. I really have. It's been a great fun experience, and great to have this faction on the channel. It wouldn't be the same without them. Imagine Striking Scorpion 82 channel without Gut Ripper, without Cousin Zog, and even Combat Kyle or Killsaw Kyle here as well. And there may well be other characters named in the future also. There's Napoleon Git Smasher. Still don't have a name for this guy yet, so there's some characters as yet no names, but there it is. That's the video. Remember, check out the painting tutorial. You're welcome to follow along step by step and paint your orcs up in that style. In-depth painting tutorial for the bigger projects on the Plus channel, and then for orc content you've got battle reports here, and then on the Plus channel as well, some crazy orc battle reports already available, and more in the future on the Plus channel. But there it is. Let's start collecting for the orcs. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.